Okay. 30 seconds have gone. The attack is coming quite well from the library side. It does seem to be a bit of a split push as well, as the other attackers are looking to attack from the balcony. Burning a lot of utility. Dark Smile and Katu both taking a lot of damage. No kill coming out just yet. There goes Dark Smile with the finisher onto Katu. It's given REDRAGEN an in as they clear out this bottom floor area as well, or at the very least this southwestern side of the map. And they're going to come flying up the stairs as well, or up the floorboards as well, try and clear out any more of these roaming players or any of the utility that they have left over. Again, those observation blockers being immediately adapted onto by VITICAL eSports to try and deny as much droning utility, as much of that intel as possible from the side of REDRAGEN. I really, really like that. I really like seeing that. I really like seeing teams adapting to it. I was a little bit worried that people wouldn't. Just because, you know, oh, we already have a set strat and everything, and we know, you know, these are the gadgets that we're going to be bringing, these are going to operators that we're going to be using, and that just doesn't fit, or the observation blockers just don't fit in that. So I'm glad to see that they are actually doing that. There go the nades from below, trying to clear out the Cade Claws, but they're just not able to clear them. They have droned out one of them, so they should know where it is, but they can't really get to it without exposing themselves too much. Cube Vector's taking a little bit of damage here from the smoke babies that's been deployed as well. Pavlov popping up another one onto the office balcony as well. The breach will come out. Rexy with the trade finally onto Dark Smile. WVesta trying to look through the breach, trying to find something. He could really be taking an opportunity here to maybe drone out, but of course he doesn't have the drone in pocket anymore. 15 seconds to go. He will try to go for a plant inside of the breach. Raptor will find one onto Rexy. 3 versus 4. The C4 will come out from JM, but it will miss. Rata still has another one. Pavlov and Fixer both take a kill for their own. 2 versus 4, or 2 versus 2 make it now as Pavlov finds WVesta. Rata will try to go for a C4 through the window, will not find anything. Here comes Pavlov with the shotgun, will also not find anything. Rata with the swing of that TCSG, unable to find the Iana that goes into a prone position. Pavlov will find him, and now it's a 1 versus 1 as Raptor finds Pavlov. It's all down to Rata. He will have to go for the defuse as he doesn't have time. But Raptor will be able to get him from below. He's going to have to push up. He's going to defuse if Raptor's not there in time, and he's not going to be there in time. VITICAL win that. Pros don't fake. Rata behind the reinforced wall will find the kill. I really thought the Raptor was going to be below and find him from inside of kitchen, but instead it was Rata who just decided that he was going to stick that diffuser, and this is what you really should be doing on a lot of situations. Sometimes it's really, really worth it to still keep going, to still keep diffusing, as it really could work out for you, and it really, really worked out for them. VITICAL take the round again.
Attackers need to locate.
Take a nice lead here in the game so far. Bit of jokes in chat coming out from VITICAL eSports saying we love you as well. Imagine Dragons. Quite a funny joke, I will say. I'm a little bit peeved at myself for not having thought of it myself. I think that there's quite a lot of puns here to make, and quite a lot of jokes to make about a team whose name is Dragon. There are just so many that you can make. And I'm glad to see that the vibes are good in the lobby, that people are you know, in a good mood, and that they are having fun. Of course, we are trying to be serious. Oh, it's Fenrir! For a moment, I didn't even realize! I was going to talk about that earlier with observation blockers, is that from round 2, teams are permitted to actually play Fenrir, the new operator coming in year 8, season 2, Operation Dread Factor. It's a very, very interesting operator. His gadgets, he gets 5 per round. Only 3 can be activated at the same time. And I really am not sure how to describe it. The way that it works is if an attacker gets close enough to the area of effect, the gadget will deploy sort of a smoke bubble a dark purple smoke bubble that you cannot see through as an attacker. I don't think the defenders can see through it either, but Fenrir definitely can. It's similar to how Ying can see through her candelas. Meanwhile, everyone else in the lobby gets flashed. So it's going to be quite an interesting use here of him as well. Of course, inside of that library, if anybody decides to push into there, they might get caught out by it. Katu taking a lot of damage. I'm not really even sure where from. WVSR is looking here to maybe go for the breach, but that Keiko unfortunately gets re-triggered again, and he's not able to go for the breach just yet. Katu creating himself actually a very far and away angle. WVSR going in for a smoke to burn any potential utility on the other side of the wall. Unbeknownst to him, there is none. Grenade will come out as well, and that smoke will actually serve another purpose of allowing Fixer to potentially see any defenders hiding behind that smoke. I think that was a C4 deployed as well. No, it was not a C4 deployed. I don't know, it was maybe a little bit of debris. Fixer, again, with the faraway angle on this glass. It's an unlikely operator to really see in most sites, but on most sites and most maps, but this is one where it really makes a lot of sense, and especially as they're bringing the sends, it's just a really, really good operator to deny the defenders from pushing into anything or from seeing anything. Pavlov, in a very crucial position, does take down WVesta, but he's immediately traded out by Fixer. 45 seconds to go now as Rexy finds 1 and 2 from up top. They decided to not go for any sort of vertical pressure either, so they do not have control of the top floor. They will not be able to find that kill. Rata will find 1, find the second. It's all down to Fixer with the glass. He's got the sniper in hand, but he's got very limited utility. And that utility will only be his gadget, which will allow him to see defenders should they move. In the little, it's sort of like a thermal gadget, but there we go. We see the deployment of the Fenrir gadget as Fixer finds one onto Rexy, but there's just not enough time, and there's not enough life in him either, as Rata takes his final victim for the round. And VITICAL Esports win. Somehow they do. I'm really surprised. I have to say, I'm quite surprised. Just considering how it didn't look like it was going to go their way. I mean, they had the sense, they had the glass, they had the smoke. It really looked like it was going to be all REDRAGEN, but they had no top floor control at all. Potentially not even any top floor information, considering that nobody was concerned about top floor, which is really, really surprising considering how vertical the map is, and specifically that site. It's a very, very vertical site, as we just saw. I mean, Rexy basically won it from up top with that Fenrir gadget, or rather the Fenrir operator. Really, really interesting that REDRAGEN decided to not go for any sort of vertical pressure at all. And I mean, even if you're not going to be going for that much vertical pressure, you have to have top floor control. Even if you're not going to bring a buck or a sledge to actually push defenders out of the positions that they might be playing inside a site, you have to get top floor control. And this was the reason why. Because if you don't, then you're just leaving the defenders to. I mean, I always say this, if on a vertical site, if you don't take top floor control, best believe your enemy will. And that is where rounds are won and lost all the time. So quite interesting to see that REDRAGEN didn't decide to go for that. And, you know, usually when you see teams not go for any sort of vertical pressure is when they are going for a rush. But that is also not what happened. So I don't know if that was a bit of a miscommunication from REDRAGEN, or if they thought that they had it in the bag with the smokes, the glass, the sends. It was definitely a good idea. It was just a little bit poorly executed, and it gave VITICAL quite a deep lead here as they take it at 3-1 so far, and are heading into potentially taking a 4-1 lead after REDRAGEN looked so confident in that first round. This time they are going for the vertical pressure quite extensively. WVesta already inside of office, just waiting for confirmation that he's safe to go for the breach onto the office wall and start putting pressure onto there. It's Fixer and Dark Smile from the other side of the map. They find one. Can they find a second? Doing so much damage onto Rexy, who is just a sliver of HP to his name. Katu finds the refrag of the WVesta, and that's going to be That is going to hurt, as of course that is the Habana off the board now. I don't think that he was able to breach that wall either, so trying to throw a lot of that utility onto that shield is going to be a lot harder. They're trying to hunt Rexy down below, but little do they know he has already retreated out of the basement, got healed by Katu's duck stem, and is able to see another day. Meanwhile, Darksmile and Fix are both working on being quite injured. Darksmile being even more injured now as well from a quite far away angle from inside the library. I was wrong. WVS did manage to break that wall open, so they are able to throw down a lot of this utility. Pavlov's taking a lot of damage as well. I'm not really even sure where from, but Katu will be using his final duck stim to stim Pavlov back to full health. So now, despite engaging and being quite annoying, two Red Dragon Pinnacle Esports are all on basically full HP as they were duck stimmed. Rexy still holding on to these lower library stairs, just waiting for somebody to push in from kitchen. That could be Cute Vector, who we just saw droning with the Yanaclaw, and oh, Rexy looks away just the wrong moment, but there goes a smoke being deployed, and he misses the run from Cute Vector, who is able to now take control of Fireplace alongside Raptor, who take down Katu. 3 versus 4 for VITICAL to try and hold on to this map. They have Fireplace control. They could be going for a rush or a plant. From there, they take down JM, but that is Pavlov, unfortunately, with the TK, or getting credited with the TK because of the Goyo canister. Pavlov does find one with the Dark Smiles. He finds another one with the Q Vector. There goes Rexy finding one, and it's Pavlov with the last one on the Fixer. Around another one that really just wasn't looking like it was going to be VITICAL's. I mean, it did look like it was going to be theirs for quite a while. I was saying that they were all in full HP because of the duck stims, but then because they missed Cute Vector pushing into Fireplace, and because they lost the player defending Fireplace as well, that was Katu, they basically had free reign of that bar gaming site that Pavlov really couldn't hold on to by himself. And then, of course, the TK, or getting credited with the TK of the JM, it really started to look really not good. But Rexy and Pavlov really pulled their weight and stayed in it, won the round for their team. Very, very good job to achieve that. They bring this lead quite deep now, as they're looking at a 4-1 split. It could be a 4-2 if REDRAGEN are able to find a win here on the bedroom site, a site that they did not win. But a site that it was probably the closest for them to win the last time that they played it, as of course that was the clutch defuse from Rudda. So it was a 1 versus 1. They got the plant down. It was just about losing those final gunfights and then not being able to hold on to the post plant correctly that allowed VITICAL to win it. Going for a similar split push that we saw from them before. Pushing from the library side as well as the office balcony as well. This time they have a player sitting on the double window, which could really be a crucial position for them to be holding onto, as it cuts off any potential rotations throughout the site. JM by himself holding on with the mirror window. Any sort of push coming out from library, and with that Twitch drone, they get rid of the first black mirror window. Or mirror black window rather. Black mirror, is it? Yeah, it's a black mirror. That's what they're called. No, oh, WVS finds a kill into JM. That is from the window. They find that player. They have droned up Katu, who is being finished onto. Can he actually find a kill here? He does find a kill into Dark Smile. His nades go with him. Sledge off the board, and a self-destruction he could have found will be gone. VITICAL very, very good at getting those refrags and not letting VITICAL from, or not letting REDRAGEN rather, from running away with it. Here comes the breach onto the main breach, but Raptor with the drone spots out the Jaeger playing below. Katu just trying to rotate, maybe up those solarium stairs, or maybe trying to hold on to the lower floor as well. It looks like they will be pushing him, or pushing into kitchen, rather, to try and find him. But Rexy drops the hatch and finds the kill into Fixer, the player who was tasked with trying to hunt Katu, who, by this point, has already rotated all the way up into library, or into bathroom, and into piano, rather. And the player that was playing on that double window will no longer be providing support from over there, which means that VITICAL have full control over site, despite that breach being open. Smoke waves are getting deployed onto the breach as well. 50 seconds to go for REDRAGEN in a 3 versus 4. Pavlov is looking for maybe a run-up, potentially, here. Q Vector and Pavlov, I think, can hear each other, and there comes the swing, and he finds the kill into Q Vector, who was just not expecting that particular push. Raptor finds one, but Pavlov is there for the trade. Raptor now 50 HP will go down and sold out to WVester on just a sliver of HP. This is the lowest you will see somebody without them being dead. He cannot find the kill onto Katu. If he had hit the headshot there, he maybe would have had a chance there, but with 18 seconds on the clock and a 1 versus 2 and the lowest HP you could possibly be on without being dead, it was just doomed from the get-go. And VITICAL Esports take a 5-1 lead here, as we see the side switch going into the attacking side for VITICAL Esports. And now Chalet indeed is quite a defensive sided map, but it is not, I wouldn't say, this defensive sided. It is only 52% defensive sided as I check the notes, so it's not, overwhelmingly defensive sided. It is definitely nothing like Oregon or Skyscraper, which are 60%, or, God forbid, Theme Park, which is 70% defender sided. It's only about 53, which is, very, very close to being attacker sided. So it's definitely not, well, I wouldn't say definitely not, but it's not really, a 5-1 split for VITICAL, who really struggled against Volps and REDRAGEN, who took their win 2-0 last week. VITICAL Esports are now just one round away from not only match point, but taking another point for themselves, and not moving up anywhere on the leaderboard, but definitely putting a lot of pressure onto REDRAGEN. Because should they pick up all 3 points here, if they win the in regulation, well, then they will tie REDRAGEN, and it will just come down to round difference, which I think VITICAL will be quite good on, as they are doing so well right now. But Rexy will find a first kill onto Raptor, who was trying to roam, do the same thing that Rudda was doing, but he goes down instead. Rexy will find another one, and Rexy is just unstoppable. He was last week's MVP, and he could just be getting it again here today, as he's the first player to crack 10 kills so far in this lobby, and gives a huge opening to VITICAL Esports. REDRAGEN now find themselves in the same situation that VITICAL were in when they were defending this site for the first time, all the way back in round 1. Are they actually going to be able to do anything about it, or will it go the way of VITICAL Esports? Similarly, the way that it went to REDRAGEN in the first round, where the defense just didn't have enough people to hold on to this. As we start to reach that halfway point in the round, Darksmile, WVester, and Q Vector are going to have to be very, very careful here. There goes a C4 from WVester. He finds one at the Katu. Could have just about had 2. Does quite a lot of damage with the JM. Not enough to kill him, but enough to bring him down to only about a bullet's worth of HP, which means that he is definitely very, very vulnerable. Darksmile going for a bit of a pre-fire there onto the fireplace window. Does not find anything. Instead, just finds a bullet to his own body from the library window as he overextends a little bit. But now, a minute to go, and VITICAL Esports have definitely stalled a little bit. They're going for a rotate to try and put more pressure onto the library side of things, as JM and JM and Rudda are still trying to clear out this top blue shield. Q Vector will be full flashed. One first grenade will miss. The second one will hit, and it will find the player as well. JM was getting a little bit too excited to stay in that position, and with the beautiful swing, JM finds Darksmile. It's all that the WVS down inside of sight. Rexy is down into a frost map, so that is effectively 1 versus 3 here for WVS, but there's still so much for him to do, And REDRAGEN or rather VITICAL Esports, have more than enough time to actually achieve something here. He pushes up the library stairs, trying to go for a flank. So far unnoticed, but they spot him as he's crossing so many of those holes in the wall. One player makes it inside of sight. It's two inside of sight. He finds one, but the plant is going down from JM. There goes another one as he finds the kill with Intel. They do so much damage onto him as well. And there goes Pablo with the final one. Take him down. The Smoke, who tried and tried so hard and couldn't achieve anything. VITICAL Esports win the first round of their attacking half, put themselves at match point, and take or secure themselves at least 1 point in this matchup. REDRAGEN have to be flawless for the rest of this map. They have to be completely flawless and not mess up anything, anywhere, or make any sort of mistakes. They have to be perfect. They have to win all of these rounds in order to have a chance to keep battling this out, in order to have a chance to get a point maybe in this map, and in order to maybe get a win here. VITICAL definitely looking a lot more confident than we saw them last week when they were battling against Volps, and it was just the back and forth debacle going on. This time they are calm, collected, very, very confident, just absolutely destroying them. Pavlov joins Rexy with the 10k on the board. That's something that you see very often, I have to say. I mean, the man was playing Smoke for the entirety of the first half and is now playing another support operator with the Nomad, so definitely not something that you expect from support players. It is definitely something that you expect from Rexy on that entry fragger role or on that Aroma role. Definitely a lot more aggressive of a position to be playing, but when he's playing support, really a lot more impressive. Not to say that it's not impressive regardless, but it's definitely a lot more impressive to see it from a support player, especially knowing that a lot of those kills were gotten with the Smoke. A lot of pings are coming out onto the Roamer as REDRAGEN just getting absolutely berated by the utility that VITICAL Esports are deploying onto them, and it looks like they could be getting pushed from the basement as well. Fixer will be under attack here as the push from the west main side comes, and Rudda will find Fixer. As I said, he will be under attack. Raptor does find a trade onto Rexy, but Rudda knows exactly where he is, and he finds him, gets the refrag again. Only a minute gone, and we already have 3 people in the lobby that are dead. The attack will stall a little bit, or will slow down. They will pull back, not decide to rush off of the opening that they've received, as of course it's not that big of an opening. They had a bigger opening in the last round, and well, that's just nice to see. Q-Vector deploying those magnets in a sort of straight line, single file. Very, very satisfying to see it, rather. Sometimes you will see, Umamai is just deploy the magnets anywhere, willy-nilly, as JM finds the kill into Dark Smile, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, back when VITICAL were defending, and when a player died to that on the defense. I think it was Rexy that got taken down from those footholds. Very, very important position for the defense to be holding on to, and this is the second time that we saw the attack actually win from it. Q-Vector is left in a 1 versus 3. He was able to find a kill onto Pablo. Can he find another? Yes, he finds another one to Katu. That's a 1 versus 2 now. Definitely very winnable, but only if he's actually able to do it. Here come the flashes as well. The plant is going down. They know he's on the bar door, and it's Rudda with the kill onto Q-Vector. VITICAL Esports take the round, take the map, and take all 3 points. They equalize with REDRAGEN so far in the standings, at the very least on points. But I think that REDRAGEN still have a better round differential than VITICAL do, just considering the fact that VITICAL came into this matchup with a 0 round difference. Actually, no. I think that they equalized perfectly now, as REDRAGEN had a +6 round differential, and that is exactly the round differential that just came from the side of VITICAL. So I think that they equalized, and that means the VITICAL are definitely looking to take the lead here in the standings. Definitely overtake REDRAGEN and maybe even hold on to that first place while we see the rest of the round 2 play out. We'll be taking a short break. When we come back, it will be Border. Before we go, I will say for that map, I will give the MVP to Pavlov, who was absolutely on fire from a support position. Very, very impressive play. And can't wait to see what these teams can bring on Border. Can REDRAGEN put up a fight to VITICAL Esports, maybe even equalize again, or are we going to see an absolute sweep coming up for VITICAL? I don't know, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. Only a minute gone. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2, Champions League Round 2. My name is Retro, and we are back with REDRAGEN and VITICAL Esports. They just played on Chalet, and it was quite a confident win from VITICAL Esports. They took it 7-1. REDRAGEN were really struggling to pick up any rounds. They had potential to pick up a few, but they just weren't able to hold on to early advantage that they gained. One of them was lost in a clutch situation. So very exciting game for sure, especially for VITICAL and for any VITICAL fans currently in chat. But of course, REDRAGEN are now looking to take back what they just lost, and especially because, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think that I am, REDRAGEN and VITICAL are now on exactly equal scoreline. No, they're not. VITICAL have a +6 round difference. So they have overtaken the lead so far in the standings. But as I said, of course, last game, is that it's a very early in the season so far. So I don't think that we really should be concerning ourselves too much with the standings and some such until about round 4, when, it really starts to become about the points and about the round differentials and everything like that. I think for now, it really is just for fun and to really gather some momentum to get some of those points to make sure that you're not in a bad position later on and then are having to win back those points and make sure that you're actually able to head into those playoffs. But of course, that is all for the future down the line. Without any further ado, it is Border, and some quite interesting bands have come out. If you had a chance to look at them while I was talking and giving a little debrief about the teams, quite interesting bands coming up from both of these teams. It is Nomad and Azami from REDRAGEN. One of those operators isn't banned all that often in the season. The other one is banned quite a lot. Azami is one of the top 5 most banned operators. Of course, the most banned operator so far in the league, Mira, is still on the board, and it will be brought by REDRAGEN here in their first defensive round to be holding on to any positions that the attackers might be coming in from. Azami, it doesn't surprise me that she's banned, not just because she's banned often, but because of how strong she is, particularly on this map. That CCTV site that we just saw Dark Smile and Raptor setting up on, it's completely shut down with just one Azami player playing in there. You really don't need much more than one Azami sitting in there and just chucking those Kibas at, every which way. Very difficult to try and attack against that. And the Nomad, of course, very important as an operator, just because, potential runouts or any flanks that you might be going for, or, players such as Dark Smile playing down below, them having to rotate back upstairs is definitely very important. And not having to worry about the Nomad is definitely very good for them. Oh, wow. The unfortunate whiff there from Dark Smile does give VITICAL Esports the opening kill and puts them so far in the lead as they find themselves on a 5 versus 2 with no Warden on the board. Luckily for REDRAGEN, they don't really have any utility that they could really take advantage of taking out the Warden so early on. And Fixer with a jump out finds Rexy. This is exactly what I was talking about. Potential jump outs or any flank situations or flank attempts coming out from REDRAGEN will definitely be impacted by a Nomad, so having her off the board is a good decision. The Castle and Montaigne ban coming out from VITICAL are a bit more of a target ban and a bit more of a very situational ban that you don't really see all that often. Castle, although very good at closing down a lot of rooms and forcing you to waste time and utility, isn't also somebody that you see get banned all that often, even on Border, where he's very important. And Fixer finds the second! What a swing! Finds a beautiful 2K for himself, leaving JM and Katu all to their own, and a round that for a moment I worried could be all VITICAL is looking all Red Dragon, and they are already starting to fight back. Definitely proving that they're not going down without a fight, although I do worry that, considering the fact that this is only the first round, that they could just not be finding any success afterward, as of course they won the first round last time as well, and they get shut down as Katu and JM both find a piece of their own, bringing this to a 2 versus 2. And now it's really starting to get interesting. Q Vector still has this position inside of Fountain Room, cutting off any push coming up from the 90 corridor, and could also be cutting off any push coming in from Office, which is exactly where they will be coming from, and it looks like he will be trying to go for a bit of a sneaky position inside of the 90 position. W Vester finds one, finds the second. Beautiful swing, or it was actually rather Dark Smile that found one, or Q Vector rather, that found one, and then W Vester with the other. In any case, REDRAGEN beat the curse of losing the first round and win this one. A little bit risky and a little bit, it got a little tight there at the end, but they won it nevertheless, and really opened this match up for themselves. They could even be finding some points here in this game. Is definitely not off the table, especially because it's only round 1 and they won it, so that's effectively cutting off any sort of momentum coming out from VITICAL Esports, meaning that after 8 rounds of gameplay, REDRAGEN finally found themselves around here in this matchup, and as I say, put a stop to the momentum that VITICAL Esports were able to gain in that entire time. Now they will be going on to defending the Bathroom Teller site, which a few years ago, back before this map was in the competitive map pool, and back before it was reworked, it was a bit of a troll site. If you remember it, it was kind of not that good of a site, but as soon as it got reworked, this site has been getting a lot of gameplay, and it tends to be a very, very, very strong site. I think that the top floor site might still be the most defender-sided site on the map, just because of how difficult it is to attack, and especially with people adapting and teams adapting to holding onto that CCTV side a lot more, which of course is a very, very crucial position for the defense to hold on to, just because of how much leverage it gives to the attackers. Having control of that and adapting to taking that control with operators such as Azami or the Mira, I think that site is definitely not going to be going anywhere. But the Bathroom Tellers has definitely taken its position as the secondary site for most teams, and it is one of those very, very vertical maps, but it's also one of the very horizontal sites as well, as a lot of teams do like to extend it to workshops, some even into customs, as you just saw. I mean, VITICAL Esports are forced to have to breach the wall into detention to be able to even gain into the site, into the map. So a very far extension here from REDRAGEN. Was WVS getting a little bit overzealous there on that customs door. Does survive it. JM taking a little bit of damage, I think, on the breach that they made, of course, from the electrification. Minute 15 gone, and they still haven't really gained all that much map control. They're still trying to clear out the top floor, but of course, quite a lot of presence is still being shown here from the side of REDRAGEN, and they're just not going to be giving it up quite that quickly. They're not going to be giving it up quite at all, as Fixer will find one to Rexy. Can he get another? No, he will get shot down. A wall bang from Katu finds him. Shuts down the roam at least a little bit. Dark Smile now on his own, having to retreat and maybe fall back, but no, he will stay contesting, stay wasting time, and that might just be the better position there. He sees Katu, does a little bit of damage, is unable to find the kill. He will get spotted out as well from the side of JM. Those clones will be finding it. Breach coming out to the office wall. They're really just forcing him out of the position. That was onto the... Where was that first ace charge? I'm not really sure. We heard a Selma. No, that's not it. The Raptor will find JM. Or it might have been. I don't know. The Raptor does find JM, shutting down VITICAL Esports even more so. Fire bolts and smoke bolts both coming out from Rudda. Oh, and a perfectly timed C4 from Rafter will find Katu. Rada now inside of sight, trying to go for the plant. Pavlov will find one. Last map's MVP. The plant cannot go down as Pavlov goes down. WVester finds him. Dark Smile and WVester now in a 2 versus 1. The plant goes down. Rada could just have this round if he plays his cards right, but of course he's going to get pinched from 2 different sides unless they give him 1v1s, and they kind of do, but Dark Smile is there. Very excited to have gotten that kill, and REDRAGEN take the second round here in this matchup.
Diffuser disabled by defenders.
Looking good, looking a lot better than they did in the previous map, although it did get a little, a little dicey again. It reminds me a lot of Volp's VITICAL, the previous VITICAL matchup that we saw last week, where it was kind of like this. It was a lot of back and forth, but it was also very, very tight and close to the wire quite a lot of the time, where you think one team's going to win it for quite a bit, and then all of a sudden the other team swings it around and they end up winning it. So it's getting, a little bit closer for comfort than it really should be for REDRAGEN, but they're still getting those round wins, so can't really fault them too much for it, but could be something that they having to really think about come a little bit later in the map. Could, God forbid, for them anyway, Vitic will be taking some rounds. It could be a bit of a problem for REDRAGEN if they are not able to hold on to the leads that they gain, and if they are not able to translate the lead into a round win. Now going on to Workshop Defense. It's something that, we're very used to seeing. It's a very popular site. It used to be the secondary site every single time, and Dark Smile misses a drone that could have been perfect for him right there. He could have either shot it or taken control of it with the pest, and then had a little bit more information onto VITICAL. But I don't know that they would have done all that much, as we see Rexy picking onto that IQ as well, who will be very, very crucial to denying a lot of this utility that REDRAGEN are bringing. The Ela concussion mines, Valkyrie cams, everything that they have can be spotted by, wow, nothing like keeping a Banshee in pocket and deploying it 30 seconds into the round. Gotta love the confidence from Fixer, who takes a little bit of damage. I'm not sure where that was. Oh, was that from the Swamp Peak? I didn't see him take damage from the Swamp Peak. Okay, well, I guess he took damage from the Swamp Peak. I didn't notice that in the moment. My apologies for the confusion. Raptor getting even more confident here by trying to do something with a pistol. I do believe that's because he has the shotgun as his primary, so he doesn't have a lot of long-range utility to really contest against them, but they shut him down regardless, and they will shut down his teammate and Fixer as well. Both of the players that were getting a little bit overzealous so far in this round won't go for a spawn peek. The other one trying to go for a pistol whip at the Ela. Both go down very early on. Dark Smile with a very interesting pre-play C4 will not find anything. The attackers are nowhere near it, and Rexy's just trying to find as much of that utility as possible. There go the fuse charge as well. They're going to start raining from the sky. WVester will find one with the Rudda from a vertical position, I believe, or from a counter vertical angle rather. Is that somebody still in CCTV, or am I tripping? No, it was. I think it was WVester, but the angle was a little bit weird from the POV of another player. But Q back to WVester and Dark Smile. We saw them in this exact predicament before. 3 versus 5 for them. Yikes. Quite a lot of vertical pressure being put onto them as well from the side of VITICAL. Going to have to try their hardest to try and win this site, to win this round rather. With a lot of that vertical damage already achieved, they are going to be going for a plant, I am sure. There we go. Katu deploys his final fuse charge, goes for the plant. He will get it down. WVester is there, but sprints straight into Rexy's gunfire. And that's all down to Q Vector and Dark Smile. to try and hold on to this round. There's a pistol whip going on outside as well. Is Katu with the shield on the fuse? I hope not. Because he is... That might be a bit of a cockiness by playing the pistol. Darksmile does find one from the vertical position, or counter-vertical angle, rather.
Defenders have located the diffuser.
But there's still so much verticality and still so many players outside and inside, and it will be Katu with the final one. That pistol whip. Just nothing that you can do against that. VITICAL take the round after... Is that what it is? Okay. Well, I've just been informed of the fact that pistol whip is when you hit somebody with your pistol. I presume in a melee fashion rather than shooting them with the pistol. English is not my first language. I did not know that is what that meant. I'd always thought that it was you know, it's you shoot them with the pistol and it's a pistol whip. I thought that it was like a Western term or something. So my apologies for any confusion that I created by saying that all the time. If maybe you're just listening, you know, doing the dishes or something while you have the stream going and you're like, wait, what did he do? He indeed did not melee with the back of a pistol. He shot him instead with the pistol. Well, you learn something new every day. There you go. But VITICAL take the first round for themselves so far in this map. And dare I say that it was a little bit of REDRAGEN's fault that happened, because there was absolutely no reason that Fixer and Raptor should have been getting that aggressive with their roaming. One went for the spawn peek, the other one tried to go for pistol shots with the Ella pistol. Neither of those worked, and it put REDRAGEN into quite a disadvantage from very, very early on. I think maybe they were getting a little bit carried away with having 1-2 rounds, which really, when you think about it, isn't all that much at all, because see how quickly that advantage can be cut down by just winning one round, and then all of a sudden you're not really so far in the lead anymore, and you're just, you know, one spawn peek fail from you know, losing potentially even the round. Cute Vector getting a little bit aggressive here on this soft wall as well as James taking a little bit of damage from inside of break as well. Darksmile bringing that Fenrir operator, the brand new operator coming out in Year 8 Season 2. We saw him play just a little bit in the previous map. We saw him get broad as well on this site before in round 1. But we didn't get to see him get used all that much, and it was Fixer with beautiful runouts to gain most of the advantage for the side of REDRAGEN. The push is coming out from the opposite side this time for VITICAL Esports, which means that REDRAGEN is still pretty secure inside of CCTV, as Darksmile will find one of the Katu. WVSR will find one of Tarata, and now it's going to be a lot worse for VITICAL Esports. They do push out WVSR, who decides that it's just not worth sticking around inside of a room that they are gaining swift control over, and he just drops the hatch, decides to rotate around, but they will be hunting him. There's Pavlov that will be hunting him. He's holding him inside of that bathroom. He's not able to move out from there, and he could just be wasting time. He could just sit exactly in that position, not move at all. But of course, he will be moving. He did expect Pavlov to be waiting for him there. Nades are going to start raining from the sky as well, and look at how much time they're wasting on a player that really is pretty insignificant at the moment, as of course he cannot really do anything from his current position. Fixer will find one at the Pavlov. That's the Lion gone, so any utility he could have brought with those E1Ds will be gone, and it's Fixer to make it a flawless round for REDRAGEN. A little bit of a flank, and this is exactly where the Nomad ban comes into play. I spoke about this right after the bans were done, is that Nomad, of course, is a very, very important operator to most team lineups, and a potential reason for why REDRAGEN decided to ban her was exactly this situation right here, where, you know, they might want to go for a flank. They might want to go for a bit of a run out, which we saw Fixer do a couple of rounds ago. And, having a nomad on the board, having a nomad on the attacking team definitely makes that a lot harder to achieve. For example, right there, Fixer could have got caught out by a nomad or an air jab being deployed on that 90 corridor. They would know he's there. They would shut him down. Suddenly the numbers are swayed a little bit more toward VITICAL maybe even winning that winning that round rather. But of course, without any sort of flank watch or without any dedicated flank watch in that situation, for example, claymores or of course those air jabs, Fixer was just able to walk in, get those kills, and WVester will be bringing the Kapkan, hiding inside of this room, which is unlikely to get droned out. And still all 5 of those Kapkan traps are in pocket, but a drone may have spotted him out if it was looking in his direction.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb.
Hard to tell, really, if they were. But if they were, then they might be aware of it. Regardless, though, even if they are aware of the Kapkan's presence, it's still going to be quite a challenge to actually find those Kapkan traps. And, they're going to waste a lot of time to find where they are and to drone them out, to shoot them out. The IQ, of course, could allow them to find them a lot quicker than they normally would, but they still could do some damage. 2 were placed on the customs double door. The other 2 were placed on the sort of bottom east double door, where people are potentially at. They finally spotted the Kapkan himself, who's still just playing inside of customs, not allowing them any advantage, not allowing them to gain any advantage from that side of the map. He does retreat, so they do take control and flood that side of the map, but of course it's still going to be quite a lot of work, and those Kapkan traps could be doing a lot of damage, as I'm not sure if they had spotted them out yet. Jam could be the next victim to those Kapkan traps, but no, it will actually be Rexy who will be the victim to WVester's 9x19 VSN SMG. Opening kill, once again, going the way of REDRAGEN. The last time that they had the opening kill was back in round 2 on this exact site that they ended up winning in a post-plant situation, 2 versus 1. Is it going to get that close again, or will they win it in a bit more confident fashion? I guess we'll have to wait as we reach and pass the halfway point of the round, and so far, not all that much map control game from the side of VITICAL Esports. They're definitely stalling for time, trying to find some sort of in into this top 4. Again, as we spoke before, very, very vertical map, very vertical side, and as they lose Rata, that's going to be so much harder. Dark Smile just sitting here inside of his position on those east stairs is just not having to move at all, and I'm not sure if they ever spotted out those Kapkan traps. If they ever shot them, they could still be posing quite a bit of danger to them. But Pavlov has created himself a little bit of a rotated to passport as Katu finds Dark Smile, but Fixer again in a flank cannot quite find a kill into JM. Does quite a lot of damage onto him, and Pavlov will find the next one onto WVester. Now Pavlov at JM and Katu all on quite low HP. Vector is dealing with about 50 to his name, but he will go down, so he's dealing with 0. It's all down to Raptor, 1 versus 3. The round that was looking so good for REDRAGEN just got absolutely turned upside down. The round completely blown open for the side of VITICAL Esports. Quite a far away angle for Raptor with the TCSG. Can he find the kill? He does, and the Kapkan trap does find its victim. It's all down to Pavlov now. The plane is going down. Does Raptor know? He will now as the timer stops, but the round does not. They see each other through those head holes. Pavlov, worse for wear, HP-wise, and there goes Raptor. Finds the final kill. Finds the round win. Unbelievable work there from the side of REDRAGEN. This is exactly what I'm saying, is those Kapkan traps, and this is what I say often whenever we see Kapkan get brought, is that their most impactful time isn't even early on in the round. It's very much in situations like this where it's, down to the wire. You don't have people, you don't have drones, you don't have time. And most of all, you cannot afford to be looking away or looking down at your feet to spot out a Kapkan trap. you have to be prepared for a gunfight. So your gun has to be up, your eyes have to be on the horizon, you cannot be looking down. And that is where Capcan traps, goo mines, cross traps, that is when they do the most damage, because that is when teams least expect them. That is when teams are least aware of them, just because you're thinking about so many things and there's so many comms going on at the same time, and the IGL is telling you, go for plant, go for plant, go for plant. You're not thinking about Capcan traps, you're not thinking about looking anywhere besides right in front of you, and well, that is how you lose players. Dark Smile, you are soulless. I was gonna say, he's trying to look for this drone, sort of dry. When he's soulless, he can see the dry. I think the gadget was just out of juice at the moment, so he was not able to activate it. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, but it was a bit funny. VITICAL Esports, much like REDRAGEN in the previous map, are now working with a 1-to-4 split for themselves. There's definitely not one that they want. Even in a defensive-sided border, it is not really what they want to be seeing. Again, border is not one of the most defender-sided maps. It is actually pretty evenly split. It's only about 50-something, 49. So about 51, 49, about there, or thereabouts. So, oh, wow. Dark Smile, I really thought at least one of those would be a headshot, but it's not. And these early engagements do not net anything, but this one does net Rexia kill as he finds Fixer. Our REDRAGEN getting a little bit too excited yet. Again, we saw them do this before. Are they going to do it again? It was a round that they lost because they were getting a little bit too excited. It was Raptor and Fixer who went for a spawn peek and a pistol shot attempt with the Ella. Lost 2 people very, very early on and allowed VITICAL to take the round. Back on the same site, are they going to do it again? Are they going to be playing it that silly? I hope not.
Cluster charge going up.
Sensor on. Let's see what I can find.
That was Dark Smile getting droned out as well. There goes the Candelas, and there goes the swing, but he's not there. They push straight in, and he finds the kill. Immediately traded out as Pablo finds another one on the other side of the map as well. 3 versus 3 with a minute to go. WS are taking a lot of damage from the vertical as well. He will get taken, or that will be Cube Vector getting taken down as well, and they will find WS there as well from those vertical angles. Again, getting a little bit too excited, giving a little too much away to the side of VITICAL, and it's all down to Raptor in a 1 versus 3 to try and win a round. This time he doesn't have a fuse to worry about. So of course, that is the operator that he was having to worry about the last time, or not him, but his teammates, as he was already dead at that point. So that's a little bit of a, you know,
attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Relief for him, but still so much work to do. 25 seconds to go. There goes the jump in into the vent side. They know exactly where he is, and I think somebody's cooking a grenade as well. He swings in, finds the kill onto the planter. He's now just having to run away, escape them, but it's Rexy with the pistol. Finds the kill, and it's the same thing again. The last time I don't think it was Rexy. I think it was Katu that found the pistol kill. But the round, once again, going to VITICAL Esports. Is it just the fact that it's that's their site? You know, that the VITICAL are just that good at attacking their site, or was REDRAGEN getting a little bit carried away with it? I don't know, but in either case, we see the site switch. VITICAL Esports will now be defending. And we'll just have to see how that goes. Will VITICAL be able to close the lead that REDRAGEN are currently on with 4 rounds to 2? Or will REDRAGEN continue setting fire underneath VITICAL Esports and just keep finding rounds? Potentially even some points. We'll have to find out, but very interesting from the side of REDRAGEN is the fact that they will be bringing a Bravo, or at least they're bringing it onto her right now, but they could still be picking off her, so I guess I'll Not really talk too much about the attacker picks due to the attacker repick, of course, and we'll instead talk about Vitical's defensive picks, which are pretty standard, you know, the Mira, the Warden, the Jaeger, the Cade, except, of course, the Tachanka, who is not a very common operator to be seeing, although I do believe that we'll be seeing a lot more of him in this season and in seasons to come, just because of the brand new changes that have come with the new season that made Smoke lose his shield. Of course, Smoke used to be a very, very crucial operator. A lot of teams brought him. He was very, very versatile, as he was able to do a lot of sight reconstruction with that shotgun. Still had a pretty decent long-range weapon in the SMG-11. Had quite a lot of very important utility with those smoke babes, and then also had a shield that helped him hold a position down for quite a while. So now, having lost that shield, he's a little bit less viable, and Tachanka might be taking a spot as Rexy is engaging with Dark Smile through that passport wall. They knew exactly where he was. They had the info, but they just weren't able to find the kill, and now he's able to still waste more of their time down below. I think Dark Smile getting a little bit frustrated with his team about not being able to clear out that player, and they're just setting up a three-way cross there between Cute Vector, Dark Smile, and Fixer, but are still unable to really find the kill onto him. And he's wasting so much time, already almost 90 seconds, and they still haven't really found an in anywhere. Pavlov using a little bit of that utility, trying to find something. Q Vector will be pushing in from the west main door. He is prepared for Rexy's push, but Rexy, despite taking quite a lot of damage from the Nook, will be finding his way safely back up the site. Rada, meanwhile, taking a little bit of damage, but JM will find his first onto Raptor, or the first one of this round, rather. JM, alongside Rudda, will just be holding onto this CCTV position. Of course, Rudda and Rexy are both working with about 20 HP to their name, so this could be a potential in here for REDRAGEN, but they've already wasted 2 minutes, and now is 2-3 players are all crouching into the sight lines of both Rudda, JM, and Katu. They will lose a couple of their players, and now it's all down to WVSR and Dark Smile, two players that we see in this clutch position. A clutch situation time and time again, having to do it once more here. The diffuser has been dropped, so they will have to attempt to retrieve it, but there's so many guns still staring at them. There goes the fire from the Tachanka, and JM and Rexy at the same time will find their own flawless round here for the side of REDRAGEN. Or for the side of VITICAL Esports, rather. My apologies. For the side of VITICAL Esports, they close down that lead and could be looking to equalize the scoreline as we see them go into the second round of their defensive half. So far, looking pretty good. So far, definitely looking pretty good. They will be going down into Bathroom and Tellers, a site that we saw REDRAGEN win in a very, very close clutch situation twice. It got very, very dicey both times that they played it. Will VITICAL end up with the same fate, or will they be a little bit more confident with the way that they play it? Oh, that is an old one. That is a very, very old Valkyrie camera spot, of course. It's a bit of a glitch, and of course you can see through the bars that are inside of the CCTV area, right behind the wall that we just saw the camera land in. But, you know, it works, and it's a very, very old Valkyrie camera spot. It's actually something that I don't think the REDRAGEN will even be expecting to see from a Valkyrie camera, just because of how old it is and how, you know, as soon as it got found out, because it was brought in Pro League, of course, and then people were like, oh, this is a thing that people do. So everyone started doing it, and then everyone was like, well, I'm not going to put a camera there anymore because it's just going to get found out immediately. So people stopped doing it. So that could actually provide a little bit of information to VITICAL Esports should REDRAGEN not find it. But of course, they have an IQ, so I see no reason why they shouldn't. But should Cute Vector die early on, or maybe not use his utility, that could just be a very, very important camera for them to be holding on to. 30 seconds have gone. They're taking their sweet time trying to find out these remaining defenders. Now, of course, Red Dragon played the bathroom Taylor site a little bit more horizontally extended. We just saw VITICAL Esports reinforce the bathroom workshop walls, which Red Dragon had a rotation into, and I don't know what Dark Smile and Cute Vector are really doing here on this window. They're sort of just peeking and not really gaining anything from it. Katu, meanwhile, gaining his own kill from below onto Dark Smile, and well, that was not a good decision to jump into there. Cute Vector will have to leave and reconnect with his team, who's trying to push up into the archives room. Cute Vector will spot out Rexy and will be given active pings. There go the Candelas as well to force him out of his position. But of course, he will just drop right down the hatch, and now he's safe inside a workshop. The remaining defenders as well, who were all playing upstairs, also drop down. C4 comes out as well, does so much damage to the Prevester, somehow does not kill him, however. And now they are having to
Bomb located by attackers.
open up that hatch, open up some of those walls, and try to find potentially an into this site, doing a little bit of vertical damage. His Fixer as well, trying to still spot out the defenders that he knows are inside of workshop still. He knows that they haven't left. He knows that they haven't retreated. Whether that's because he's just that good at reading his enemies or because he got a call from Dark Smile about it on the drones. He is very much aware of the fact that they are still not inside of sight. Pablo holding a counter vertical angle. Meanwhile, Katu finding W Vesta. Rada in a quite unlikely position inside a passport, finds one. Can he find a second one? No, he will not, but JM will find him instead. And there we go. It's Katu with the final one. Another flawless round for the side of VITICAL Esports. So far, they've been the only team to bring us any flawless rounds. And, well, it's not looking good for Red Dragon, that's for sure, as VITICAL Esports were now able to equalize the scoreline 4 rounds apiece. And unless Red Dragon are able to find 2 rounds onto VITICAL, the same way that VITICAL were able to when they were attacking, well, we could just be looking at another regulation win here from VITICAL Esports. Yeah, it could just happen. I don't like thinking it, but it could just be what happens. They'll be going onto the workshop and Ben's site. It is the only site that VITICAL were able to win on. And not quite confidently. Although, the first time, it came due to a bit of unnecessary aggression coming up from Raptor and Fixer, who were trying to spawn peek and, you know, do some things for cool points. The second time around, they just lost their roamers way too early on and gave VITICAL all the advantage they needed. Can Red Dragon find that same in, or will VITICAL be a little bit more aware of just what is necessary to lose this round when you're defending, just knowing how they won it and find the round instead? We'll have to find out as the defense sets themselves up for another vertical defense. Of course, another vertical site, having to hold on to it. They, unfortunately, are not bringing Fenrir. I really would like to see Fenrir. I think they brought him a couple times on Chalet, but so far nothing on border, at least from the side of VITICAL. Of course, we saw him get brought a little bit by Red Dragon, but VITICAL aren't bringing him as of yet. That could be another extremely great operator here. C4 gets blown onto the window, finds not the kill, but quite a lot of HP damage onto W Vesta as they're still trying to open up this archives wall, but of course JM is there just holding on to it and just shooting those Selmas, so they're not able to gain any advantage from there. Fixer does find a first in onto Rexy. There goes the Oryx off the board, so any potential flanks that he could have come up with aren't going to happen. And Fixer just pushes straight in, finds another one to JM, clears out that area. Dark Smile finds K2. Q Vector will find Pavlov as well, and despite having taken a lot of damage, enough to be downed, Fixer will not be going out of this game, or out of this round rather, and it will be a flawless one for REDRAGEN. So this site, most assuredly, is not a good site for the defenders, because so far this site has a 100% lose rate or loss rate rather, when you're speaking correctly, has a 100% loss rate for the defensive side. So the fact that they're still picking onto it, very, very curious. Of course, they kind of have to, as of course we said, the top floor site still remains probably the strongest site on this map, and then followed by Bathroom Tellers, which was won by the defense quite a bit. And then, you know, Workshop, such a vertical site, such a difficult site to hold on to, where, you know, if you don't hold on to top floor, you will lose it. But then if you hold on to top floor, but don't waste, you know, 3 minutes on it exactly, you still lose it. So it's a very, very, very difficult site to defend.
Been reinforced.
And then, you know, you have, of course, the customs and supply, which is goodness. So much more difficult, really, to defend. So much more difficult, just because of how many entrances there are. There really aren't that many positions you'd be holding onto inside of the site itself, where you aren't vulnerable to something or other. You can't really just hold on to top floor and just let them have free reign over the bottom floor, because there's still so much horizontality to the site. So it's a very, very difficult site to defend, and I'm not surprised that we don't see it more often. REDRAGEN, with 30 seconds so far gone, have taken control at least of the east stairs. C4 rip as well from K2. Dark Smile evades it perfectly. Photo shooting out those Twitch drones as well, disallowing them from shooting out his mirror windows and denying him the presence of mind to be holding onto the positions that he's holding onto. Although I'm not see either of the mirror windows to be able to look at once. Clicking down to the archives, and I'm not sure where the other one is, but I'm sure it's in a good position as the second Twitch drone gets shot at as well. There goes the swing in from the window, and WSL will find K2. Very, very confident. The hard breacher, the sole hard breacher, should I say. But he's not confident enough to evade that, as Rutter just pushes into the fountain and into the office and finds the kill. Drops the diffuser, drops the hatch as well for good measure. Fixer trying to challenge a very, very far away angle here from Rexy, who is not really given way too much. Or actually, it was up to JM, as Rexy is playing the 90 corridor instead. JM taking a little bit of damage, doing a little bit as well, but it's Rexy with the swing to find Dark Smile, the player that was trying to contest against JM just a second ago, goes down instead. Fixer blowing up the wall around the mirror window to deny anybody playing it. Oh, but the player's still below. Rutta still below. Was trying to hold on to the diffuser, but Raptor will find a lot of damage. But Rutta rotates around to the other window, finds the kill. JM finds the one with the Fixer, and that's all on to Raptor. 1 versus 4. One of those players is at a very, very low HP, so he's at least killable, but still going to be such a challenge. Nobody holding onto that camera, so he's able to push straight into CCTV, which by now has been vacated of any defensive pressure. One player on top of those bookshelves inside of archives. They get on the camera, they spot him out. He knows there's a player still down below. He finds him as the C4 gets blown at the same time. There goes a flashbang as well. He will be pushing into Fountain, finds the player playing on top of the bookshelf. That's Rexy down. 10 seconds to go now in a 1 versus 2, doing a little bit of damage up to Pavlov, who doesn't have any of those firebolts now. He's going to have to try and find the remaining 2 defenders. He finds one. Can he find the second one? The time will go down, and VITICAL will find the round. Woo, that got closer than it should have. Nice try, Raptor, from Rutta. I mean, That's a bit of an understatement, if I may say so myself. There was a very, very, very good try coming out from Rudda. Very, very good try. Really had him, and I think that he probably could have even had him there if he had just had a couple seconds more time, but unfortunately did not have enough. The players is saying Russian power there, fueling Raptor. Of course, these are the Russian and the Finnish team, and I do believe that we have a Russian, potentially even Finnish streams going on at the same time right now, as well as this main one in English. I think they are on twitch.tv /Exodus and twitch.tv /Vitical Esports. Depending on which one you're looking for, of course, Vitical, the Finnish team, are streaming their own team in Finnish, and REDRAGEN might be getting streamed by the Russian stream, although I'm not 100% sure whether or not that is currently happening. But do check out the channel regardless, and check some of their future streams, as they definitely will be shooting our... They definitely will be streaming some streams in the future, so if you are a Russian-speaking viewer, you might want to check those out, as they of course provide quite good commentary, of course, although in the Russian language. But without any further ado, the round has begun. Vitical Esports equalize the scoreline yet again, as REDRAGEN just not able to hold on to the advantage, to the lead that they had taken by winning at round 9. And now as we reach round 11, confirming that we definitely will be seeing all 12 rounds of regulation. It's a battle of who will secure that first point first. JM in an early engagement, although not quite, just getting shot through the wall inside of the fountain, getting engaged onto all the way from outside. His Fixer is throwing those Roteros in, trying to find something. Nearly gets destroyed there on the electrified hatch. The Rotero drone will force JM from the position that he was holding, trying to challenge through those walls, but he doesn't go from the room that he's in. Rexy will find the opening of the double investor, and Fixer with the beautiful, that's rather... Wait, what? I'm so confused. That was Fixer, rather, at the same time as they found one onto Rudda. I confused myself, really, by preparing what I was going to say before I said it. Funnily enough, 90 seconds to go for REDRAGEN, and they pretty much have the top floor control, as all of the remaining defenders that were upstairs rotate down. That is JM and Rexy, both rotate down. Pablo finds one on the Raptor. And it's a go, and the diffuser is now gone from the side of REDRAGEN, and they really don't have all that much information either, as they are working with very, very limited utility. They still have a few drones alive, but of course those might be in place for Flank Watch, although I think Dark Smile, both of his drones are undeployed yet, as JM finds one onto, I think that was Fixer. Q-Vector will find one to Katu, shutting down even more of that defense. Q-Vector finds himself actually in sight, but without the diffuser, so he's not able to really capitalize off of that just yet. Dark Smile having to retake, or having to join him, finds one on the retake. 2 versus 2 now.
15 seconds left.
JM could be looking for a wall bang onto the planter, but he will not be finding anything. Smoke Babe will get deployed. JM will go down. Pavlov will find one, and he will find the second with the Smoke Babe. Vitical Esports win the round in a bit of a tight fashion. This is exactly what we saw happen earlier in the first half, where it got dicey like this. It was very, very close, and it was REDRAGEN that were able to win those rounds, and now it is Vitical Esports who win the round, again, as they say, quite close. Put themselves a match point, secure themselves a point so far in this secure themselves a 4th point rather in this matchup. Secure themselves the first point of this map. Could be even looking to take all 3 points should they win the next round. They will definitely be knocking Red Dragon a little bit further down the standings. Will be taking over that first spot in the standings. Of course, that will be only until we see other teams play out and see what they can do and how many points they are able to gather. But for at least a short period of time, they will be putting themselves onto match point and, or rather, onto the top of the standings. Quite a pretty kill spread from both teams. I really cannot say anything against it. All players have done their due diligence, have got quite a lot of kills, and Rhoda and Cute Vector, both players playing quite supportive roles. Both halves are the only ones that haven't really been able to crack anything above that 5 mark. But of course, they don't really need to, as they have teammates that are on 10, 11, 9, so they really don't need to be worrying too much about that. They just need to keep their head down, use your utility, get those comms out, and it's a team game. It doesn't really matter who gets the kills as long as the kills are gotten, as long as the rounds are won. So that really is just mostly for bragging rights about who was able to get the most kills and who was able to do the most of what. Especially because not even for the MVP does it matter that much, because there were times where we gave it to the person with the lowest kill count, but the person that got the plant down a lot. So, it really does take the whole scope of a player to really win a round, to really win a map. Rada getting droned out upstairs alongside JM, who are still in quite a good position and not really letting up from where they are holding on to it. Although I think JM has just dropped the hatch. Katu still holding on to that custom side as Fixer finds the kill onto Katu, so player that I just spoke about might have cursed him a little bit, as I mentioned, where he was, and they found him immediately right after. The logic bomb gets deployed as well, finding Rudda's position, or actually he gives himself away even more by shooting at the player playing outside. Does a little bit of damage at WVS, but really not enough for it to count for anything. As he reached the halfway point of the halfway mark through the round, Rexy taking quite a lot of damage, having to rotate from where he was stationed as well. Fixer will be jumping straight at the site. He will get swung on by JM, who he was not expecting and did not drone out. He will take his position inside of that little corner, equalize the man count, and force Red Dragon rather to come straight to them, as they could be looking to win this round. But plane is going down. They are completely unaware of the plant going down. They are now, as Pablo pushes straight in, but they shut him down. Post plant, 3 versus 1 as they shut down Dark Soil, and Cute Vector is down but not out. It's all down to WVSF to try to hold on to this. Of course, he will be up on that bus outside, but he doesn't really have that good of an angle onto the diffuser. They could just go for a stealth diffuse. Doesn't look like that's what they're doing, at least as of right now. But they're gonna have to hurry up for it. There goes the jump out, there goes the C4. He finds one. Can he find the second? He will not! Rada will find a final kill. He will also find a final team kill. A little bit of toxic there, and was getting a little bit close to the wire. But he finds the defuse anyway. VITICAL take the map, take the match, and win this in quite a confident fashion. Yet again, it is a 7-1 win in the first map and a 7-5 in the second one. Both maps won in regulation, meaning they come away from this with 6 points for themselves. Very, very good matchup. Very, very good game for them. Definitely putting up quite a work here. Quite a workout here, as we saw them play against Bulbs last week, and it was sort of all over the place, and it was back and forth, and they only came out of it with 3 points, and that was through 2 games in overtime. So for them to be winning in regulation, for them to be so confident, especially in Chile, where they just went on an absolute rampage. Definitely very, very, very good showing from VITICAL. And, if you've been keeping tabs on our MVP race as well, which is, of course, the race between all of the MVPs in the Champions and Premier League, VITICAL were one of only 2 teams on that scoreboard, or on that list, rather, that didn't have 2 players, or weren't on there twice. However, it was Volps, the other team, that didn't have a player. They didn't appear in it twice, and now they knocked them out of the top 10 as they take the second MVP, or it would actually be the third MVP so far. And the MVP that I will give to for this map, Border. I think I will give it to Katu, actually, which might be a little bit controversial, and people might be a little bit upset about it. But there were a few players on that team that did really, really quite well. Or Rudda, maybe. I will stick with my gut. I will say that it will be Katu. Again, as I say, there's 7 weeks of playtime. This is only week 2. So there will be so much more time for them to gather MVP titles for themselves. And of course, it is an MVP title race for the teams as well. So, as long as the team gets it, they're good. Plus, there's also the playoffs, which VITICAL definitely have a chance of getting into. So there's still so much time for people to get an MVP slot. And I think that Katu definitely deserves it, because he was there denying quite a lot of time, getting those important frags. And not to take away anything from the other players that did very, very well. It's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And, sometimes you got to appreciate a support player from time to time and give it to somebody who might not get a chance that often. Because I really have no doubt but the Pavlov or Rexy or Rudda could be getting, an absolute onslaught of kills in the rounds to come, and then they get it just based on that, because they dropped like 15 or 16, and then Katu, who might have been very, very good from a support position, doesn't get the recognition. So it's not really so much a win for Katu as much as it is also just a win for support players throughout the league who might not get recognized all that often with the MVP titles. I know there was sometimes we were a little bit unfair when it comes to that, but for this one, I will give it to Katu, and I will quit rambling about this match, as it is now done. Unfortunately, there will not be any further matches going on today, so you are free to enjoy your evening. Definitely join us throughout the rest of the week, as we will be casting more and more of Champions League, and of course we'll be casting more and more of Champions League throughout the entire season. So definitely come join us for those. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
I can't stand the distance. You're over there contemplating existence. Wish I could be of greater assistance. You're putting up this wall of resistance. Yeah, you can call me persistent, but why do we feel so